Have you ever noticed that as the years pass, something quietly begins to change inside you? Not just in your body, but in the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you see the world. There comes a moment, often unexpected, when life no longer feels like something you have to chase, or prove, or keep up with. Instead, it begins to feel lighter. And that feeling, that quiet shift, may be one of the greatest gifts of getting older. Today, we're going to explore something many people overlook: the unexpected freedom that comes with aging, and how it can support your emotional well-being, your mental clarity, and even your physical health. And if you are someone who cares about your health and well-being, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss the next simple insight that could make your days feel more peaceful and more meaningful. Let's begin with something that surprises many people. As you grow older, you begin to care less about what others think. For most of your life, you may have spent a great deal of energy trying to meet expectations, trying to be responsible, trying to be liked, trying to do what was considered right. But over time, something changes. You start to realize that not every opinion deserves your attention, that not every expectation is yours to carry, and slowly, you begin to let go. This kind of emotional freedom can have a powerful effect on your health. When you stop worrying about constant approval, your stress levels begin to drop. Your mind feels quieter, your heart feels lighter, and your body responds to that calm. There was a woman named Margaret who spent most of her life putting others first. She was known as dependable, kind, always available. But in her early 70s, she began to notice something. She felt tired, not just physically, but emotionally. So she made a small change. She started saying no when she needed rest. She stopped explaining herself for every decision. And for the first time in years, she felt a sense of peace she couldn't quite describe. Her sleep improved. Her mood softened. And she began to enjoy her days again. If this feels familiar, you might ask yourself, are there things in your life that you are still holding on to, simply out of habit? One simple step you can take is to pause before agreeing to something. Give yourself a moment. Ask, do I truly want this, or do I feel obligated? That small pause can open the door to a quieter, more peaceful life. Another kind of freedom that often appears with age is the freedom from rushing. For many years, life may have felt like a constant schedule. Deadlines, appointments, responsibilities that filled every hour. But as those demands begin to ease, something new becomes possible. You can slow down. And slowing down is not a loss. It is a gift. When you move more slowly, you begin to notice things you once missed. The warmth of sunlight in the morning, the sound of birds outside your window, the simple rhythm of your breath. This slower pace supports your nervous system. It reduces stress. It allows your body to rest more deeply and recover more naturally. There was a man named Robert who had spent over 40 years working in a fast-paced job. Every minute of his day was planned. Even his meals were rushed. But after retirement, he found himself unsure of what to do with all that time. At first, the silence felt uncomfortable, but gradually, he began taking short walks in the morning. No destination, no schedule, just walking. And over time, those quiet walks became his favorite part of the day. His blood pressure improved, his mind felt clearer, and he described feeling more alive than he had in years. If you often feel the urge to hurry, even when there is no need, try this. Choose one small activity each day, and do it slowly. It could be drinking your morning tea, washing your hands, or simply sitting by a window. Let yourself move at a natural pace. You may be surprised how calming that can feel. As the years go by, another kind of freedom begins to grow. The freedom to reconnect with yourself. In earlier stages of life, your identity may have been shaped by your roles: a parent, a worker, a caregiver, someone others depended on. But as those roles change, you are given a rare opportunity to rediscover who you are beyond those labels. This can be deeply nourishing for your mental health. When you reconnect with your own interests, your own preferences, your own pace, you begin to feel more grounded, more whole. There was a woman named Eleanor who had spent decades caring for her family. Her days were always full, her attention always on others. But in her late 60s, she found herself with more time than she had ever known. At first, she felt lost. But then she remembered something she had loved as a young woman: painting. So she bought a small set of brushes and started again. At first, it felt unfamiliar, but slowly, it brought her joy. A quiet, steady joy. Her mood improved, her sense of purpose returned, and she often said, "I feel like I've come back to myself." You might ask yourself, is there something you once enjoyed that you've quietly set aside? Something simple that brought you peace? Consider giving it another chance. You don't have to be perfect. You only need to begin. With age, there is also a growing freedom from unnecessary worry. You begin to see life more clearly. You understand what truly matters and what does not. Small problems no longer feel as overwhelming. You develop perspective, and that perspective protects your mental and emotional health. There was a man named Harold who used to worry about everything, every small detail, every possible outcome. But as he grew older, he began to notice a pattern. Most of the things he worried about never actually happened. So he made a quiet decision. He would focus only on what he could control and let the rest pass by. Over time, his anxiety decreased, his sleep improved, and he began to feel a sense of calm he had not known before. If your mind tends to wander into worry, try this gentle practice. When a concern appears, ask yourself, is this something I can act on right now? If the answer is no, take a slow breath and let it go, just for this moment. That simple habit can bring surprising relief. Another unexpected freedom is the freedom to create your own rhythm. When you are younger, your schedule is often shaped by external demands, work hours, family needs, social expectations. But later in life, you have more control over how your day unfolds. You can choose when to rest, when to move, when to engage, and when to be still. This flexibility supports both physical and emotional health. There was a woman named Lillian who used to follow a strict routine, every hour accounted for. But in her 70s, she allowed herself to listen more closely to her body. If she felt tired, she rested. If she felt energized, she moved. She stopped forcing herself into a rigid schedule. And something remarkable happened. Her energy became more stable. Her body felt less strained, and her days felt more natural and more enjoyable. You might try this yourself. Instead of following a fixed routine every day, check in with your body. Ask, what do I need right now? That question can guide you toward a more balanced day. As you continue this journey, you may also notice a deeper freedom, the freedom to appreciate life in its simplest form. When you are no longer chasing constant achievement or comparison, you begin to see the beauty in ordinary moments. A quiet afternoon, a familiar voice, a shared smile. This sense of appreciation is not just emotional, it has real effects on your health. Gratitude has been shown to support heart health, improve sleep, and reduce stress. There was a man named Thomas who started a small habit in his 70s. Each evening, before going to bed, he would think of 3 simple things he appreciated that day. Nothing grand, Just small moments. A kind word, a good meal, a peaceful moment. Over time, he noticed a shift. His mind became calmer at night. His sleep improved, and he began waking up with a lighter heart. If you would like to try this, keep it simple. At the end of each day, pause for a moment and gently reflect on one or two things that brought you a sense of peace. This small habit can quietly transform how you feel. And finally, perhaps the most meaningful freedom of all is the freedom to be present, to truly be here, without constantly thinking about the past or worrying about the future. This presence brings a deep sense of peace. It allows your body to relax, your mind to settle, and your heart to open. There was a woman named Grace who spent many years thinking about what she had lost, moments that had passed, opportunities she wished she had taken. But one day, she made a gentle decision to focus on what was still here. She began sitting outside each morning, simply watching the light change, feeling the air, listening to the quiet. And over time, she found something she hadn't felt in years: contentment. Not because everything was perfect, but because she was fully present. If you find your thoughts drifting, try this. Place your attention on something simple: your breath, the feeling of your hands, the sound around you. Let yourself stay there, just for a few moments. That is where peace begins. As we come to the end of this reflection, it's important to remember, getting older is not just a process of change. It is also a process of release. A release from pressure, from noise, from unnecessary weight. And in that release, there is space. Space for calm, space for clarity, space for a different kind of joy, the kind that doesn't need to be loud or fast or impressive, the kind that simply feels right. If you are in this stage of life, you are not losing something. You are gaining something deeply valuable, a quieter, more meaningful freedom, one that supports your health, your peace of mind, and your sense of purpose. So take your time, listen to your body, honor your pace, and allow yourself to enjoy this chapter in your own way. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like this video and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Your story may help someone else feel less alone. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more gentle, supportive insights designed especially for you. Thank you for spending this time here. Wishing you calm days, steady health, and a deep sense of peace in the moments ahead.